It's Rachel with Pretty in Plants. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. I just appreciate y'all so much. And I wanted to talk today about PEST. Real quick though, y'all know how I have to have a real quick. This will be really quick. This is my favorite sprayer, the Solo sprayer, and I'll timestamp this down below if you don't want to hear about the Solo sprayer. Love this sprayer. However, I noticed the link on Amazon is broken and they no longer offer this sprayer. I have tried other sprayers on Amazon and I do not like them as much. So you just pump it and it goes, and then you can lock it into place so it doesn't stop. Favorite sprayer, really high quality. I put the link down below if you want this sprayer. I found a totally different website than Amazon, but the shipping was not super expensive. It was $23 on that website. Really high quality, love the Solo. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about PEST, and I was saying last week I do not have PEST, and however, I discovered this week that I do have pests. Well, I have one pest on one plant, and it's actually lived on this plant for months, and I actually think it was on there when I brought it home, but I didn't recognize it. And the pest is scale. This is the very bottom leaf that came on my Philodendron rugosum. But look how healthy the leaf looks. It's very hard to tell that it is diseased and has been diseased for months. On the underside, you can see it has freckles. All of those little freckles are scale, and scale is impermeable. A lot of sprays won't work because it's like a hard shell, and it's like stuck to your plant, and you can't get under the hard shell. You can suffocate it, however, with oil, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I want to say the lowest two leaves had the most on them, and I cut them off. However, each progressive leaf that grew had less and less until the top leaf had none. You can tell it would climb up the stem and it was trying to attach itself to new growth. However, this plant has looked so healthy. Now that I know what scale looks like, I can kind of have more of an eye out for it. But I think, like in nature, when plants are really healthy, they're much more resistant to pests. The way I knew it had scale was last night when I went to, I grabbed a leaf and was gonna work with it. It was covered in the back with like a sticky sap, which I think is the scale leaving behind stuff. And so immediately what I did is I used to do orchids, and so I had this solution, and it is, this is like 8 ounces of water. And so I did 4.5 milliliters of baby oil. It's kind of just mineral oil. And I made this like 4 or 5 years ago. I just had it in my cabinet, and the second I heard that you suffocate the mites with oil, I was like, oh, I have an oil solution. You can use the Castile soap. I mean, look how empty it is. This is from 5 years ago. So I may have used this. I may have used Dawn. And I know neem oil now is more popular than, baby oil. However, this will last me. I want it to last till I'm 95 years old, and I think this one will. The neem oil goes rancid. So anyway, for what it's worth, the history for me behind this spray is I used to care for orchids, and Orchid Girl had a horrible spider mite infestation of almost every plant that she owned. And she worked until she got the perfect solution that had just enough oil to where it didn't suffocate the plant. And she finally got it. And I'll put the recipe down below. So that was from my orchid days, and worked, we'll see how it works on the plant. What I did was I took my philodendron out of the LECA, which I've been wanting to do anyway because its roots had gotten so long and kind of like all down in the water. So I took it out. There was a lot of root rot, a lot of new roots, got all the root rot off, sprayed the entire thing with hydrogen peroxide. I don't know if that'll help them at all. I don't think it does, but at least, you know, it kills the root rot and kills, you know, stops growth of things. And then I'm gonna let it dry on the counter. And then last night when it was all sticky, I didn't touch it. I just put it outside. I turned the leaves around and sprayed the under part of the leaf, every single one. These rugosum have lots of cracks and crevices. You can kind of see that. So on the back side is where I sprayed. I didn't do the top because I think they're mostly on the back side in the stems. I sprayed that with the oil and let it sit outside. This morning, all the sticky stuff was gone, and I don't know what that means, but it was all kind of like dried up. And so then after I kind of let it just sit overnight with the oil on the leaves, took it to the sink, got it all cleaned up, gave it a bath, sprayed it with hydrogen peroxide. Then it's laying on the counter, but I sprayed the back side of the leaves again with my oil solution. I want to suffocate those like scale things. And then the other thing I was going to tell y'all is cinnamon, plain Jane brown cinnamon from the store, from, you know, you have it in your cabinet. Cut this off. I put some cinnamon on the like open wound, because when you cut this off, that's open to the environment and bacteria can come in through the porous and open area of a plant. So if you put cinnamon on there, it dries it, it kills bacteria, and by tomorrow it'll be completely dried out and shriveled. And I don't personally let plants dry on their own. I like cinnamon because I just feel like it protects the plant from the outside environment. So if you feel sticky sap on the underneath of your leaves, it's scale. And scale can be, what I thought scale was, because on my outside plants, when we get scale, it's real white, a lot of white stuff. This wasn't white, it was more like freckles. Like little tiny brown freckles. I'm kind of surprised I didn't freak out. I was just like, oh, I have the oil spray. And so that's one thing about pest. That's another thing about pest, is before you get a pest, go ahead, especially if it's something you're afraid of, research how to take care of it if it does happen at your house, and make the spray or get the stuff and have it on hand, so that if it does come up, and it's midnight and you realize this plant has a pest, you can spray it down, put it outside for a night, and then feel like this is not that big of a deal. So because I don't know if scale is a big deal, but I don't think this is going to be a big deal. I will keep y'all posted though. I'm going to keep spraying and keep this plant kind of under my eye, my watchful eye. It's been in my house for months and months, and my other plants don't seem to have it. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this and can't wait to see you next time. Love you. Bye-bye.